You were going to tell me. What is happening at 8 o'clock? You were going to tell me what. What is your primary objective?
Secretary of Defense!
Secretary Heller. Secretary Heller's the target. Call Secret Service now.
The kaleidoscope has been shaken. The pieces are in flux. Soon they will settle again. Before they do, let us reorder this world around us. Right. We've had the Terrorism Act of 2000, the Anti-Terrorism Crime and Security Act of 2001, the most recent Prevention of Terrorism Act 2005, the changing of the law to allow terrorist suspects to be detained. We've also modernised our extradition laws. We will extend the use of control orders. Should legal obstacles arise, we will legislate further. Let no one be in any doubt, the rules of the game are changing.
We're in Iraq now for one reason only.
We can only remain there with their consent.
Nation building.
Has never been easy. Now, I'm going to say something to Germany.
The Germans, don't mention the war.
I see.
No chance, come on, this is private.
Stop this, you're breaking my camera.
Police have asked you to move, can you move?
Move back.
I'm really sorry. That should not happen, not in any circumstances at all. And look, I wasn't even in the conference centre at the time.
That's fine, sir, you can make your protest. Just thank goodness we live in a democracy and you can.
What sort of a society are we living in when a woman like this doesn't look to me to be a great threat to anybody, is arrested by the police for a peaceful protest?
I think that somebody like Maya ought to be able to stand up.
But she's not.
Do that demonstration.
She got prosecuted for it.
And what I would like to know in detail is why it was the police refused authorisation.
In fact, we had notified the police a week beforehand, and when we arrived, they were actually expecting us.
Lieutenant Tom Tansel, 27, died on the 27th of October 2006.
The leaflet regarding a notice of an unauthorised demonstration. It's an individual digest and it tells you everything that you need to know. There you go, take one please. No problem, thanks. Save for your information. Oh, excuse me.
One of the objects of putting a policeman in uniform is the prevention of crime. The British policeman is a friend to all except the criminal. He is taught that the police are the servants, not the masters of the public, and that it is their duty to be ready at all times to protect and befriend all those who need help.
But we can make choices in spending too. And instead of wasting hundreds of millions of pounds on compulsory identity cards as the Tory right demand, let that money provide thousands of extra police officers on the beat where they can actually protect people. We will pursue identity cards because they're right. We think it is legitimate and right in this day and age to ask people to carry identity cards. It is the right thing to do.
There are distinct advantages in a national identity scheme that could not just help us disrupt terrorists and criminals.
If we're not prepared to predict and intervene far more early, then there are children that are going to grow up in families that we know perfectly well are completely dysfunctional, and the kids a few years down the line are going to be a menace to society and actually a threat to themselves.
I'm interested in how early, because a lot of the evidence suggests you need to be getting in there while the child is still in nappies, frankly.
Or pre-birth, even.
We are not living in a police state.
Police are searching a house in East London now.
This was a huge police operation involving nearly 250 officers.
Chemical device.
The two men detained are believed to be brothers.
The intelligence was such that it demanded an intensive response.
I heard a loud bang, and it was a big flash. I see blood coming down my chest. And when I see the hole in my chest, I realised that my own brother got shot for no reason. They tried to murder my brother.
I've been in his house. He ain't no bomb factory. He's got a living room just like everyone else's living room.
This occasion, it seems we were wrong.
Who knows, it might have been me next. That makes me angry. It makes me realise that we can't trust the government, we can't trust the police.
The raid itself, I am perfectly content, was justified, and the operation was one which was carried out extremely well by the Metropolitan Police.
Does Magna Carta mean nothing to you? Did she die in vain?
This danger is present and real and with us now, and its potential is huge.
Recently, Tony Blair's government routed out a poison plot. It should say to the people of Great Britain there is a present danger, that weapons of mass destruction are a danger to people who love freedom.
We know that these terrorist networks would use any means they can to cause maximum death and destruction.
I want to congratulate you on your fabulous job of using your intelligence and your law enforcement to protect the people of Great Britain.
The network is teaching its operatives how to produce ricin, less than a pinch of ricin in your food, and death comes within 72 hours. It is fatal.
Tony Blair has rejected demands to renegotiate Britain's extradition arrangements with the United States.
Giles Darby, David Birmingham and Gary Mulgrew were handed over to US Marshals at Gatwick Airport early this morning.
They're scheduled to touch down in Houston, where they're accused of a multi-million-pound fraud. The so-called NatWest 3 have been extradited from Britain to Texas.
They're now in this courthouse behind me, where they're being fingerprinted, photographed, and then will spend their first night behind bars.
Colleagues may not necessarily agree with the approach of the United States, but I say that it is understandable that they have taken the action that they have.
But I do not think the United States is being unreasonable.
Rendair, the ultimate low-cost airline. We've flown thousands of lucky travelers around the world on our luxury Gulfstream jets. Our routes include all the world's torture hotspots. We'll be stopping to refuel at Prestwick and Manchester airports. Even though this is against international law, the British government will turn a blind eye, so there's no delay to your journey. We regret to announce that you won't be able to see the in-flight movie due to a bag over your head. And for your own safety, passengers will be shackled and bound for the entire flight. Once we reach your final destination, we'll swiftly hand you over to your hosts for an activity-filled holiday. Why torture people at home when it's cheaper to do it abroad? Rendair, driving down the cost of dying.
Anything that the CIA does in Europe is always done with the assistance of European governments.
There is no evidence that I know of that any of these 200 flights have been used for rendition.
There simply is no truth in the claims.
There is no evidence to suggest any of them fit into that category.
As we've said often enough, we have no evidence of that to which you're referring.
It's denied.
Well, I'm just saying we have no evidence. If you ask me to prove a negative, we've got no evidence. Thank you.
Are the CIA cooperating with your letter?
I think that's all you have time for now.
Thank you very much.